Scheduled programming will not be seen due to the following special program. WHAS-TV's coverage tonight of the inauguration of the Louisville Falls Fountain is dedicated to the memory of Barry Bingham, Sr.
Thousands of people have jammed Louisville's waterfront. More still cross the span of the 2nd Street Bridge. All of them waiting to see the fountain.
In 40 minutes, the Louisville Falls Fountain will come to life for the public for the very first time. And Action 11 News will show it to you live, plus all the parties and the entertainment.
This special program is sponsored tonight by the Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau. Louisville, we're rolling. And by Brooklawn, serving chemically dependent young people. Call 451-5177. Brooklawn is the road back to freedom. Now here are Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, and the Action 11 News team.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Rodemeyer with the Louisville Orchestra in the background. I'm reporting live tonight from the Riverfront Plaza in downtown Louisville. Melissa?
And I'm Melissa Swan, live on the Belvedere with a whole lot of other people. You've been hearing about it for weeks, and tonight Louisville gets its much heralded Falls Fountain. Our John Shumway is aloft in Sky 11 with a great view of all these people who have come out tonight for the dedication ceremonies. John?
I'll tell you what, Melissa, they are coming every way they can on land and on the water. The river's getting full. We'll show you that in just a second. Right now, if you're coming from southern Indiana, let me tell you, you're going to have a little bit of a delay getting off of southbound I-65 and getting into the riverfront area of Clarksville. You can see the traffic backed up getting off of that southbound I-65. Traffic's lining all the streets. The parking lots are starting to fill up. Looks like a lot of people have chosen to come over to southern Indiana and see it with the city skyline in the background. A lot of folks coming over this direction, then going up onto the 2nd Street Bridge and walking across. Over on the Louisville side, the 3rd Street exit ramp off of 64 westbound is closed. Obviously, a lot of pedestrian traffic down there, so the police close that off for safety's sake. And River Road is closed. So if you're coming into the downtown area, use the 9th Street exit ramp or the Brook and Jefferson Street ramps. Also, you can see it anywhere along River Road. Because that's closed, it's open to pedestrians. It'd be a great place to see it. Southern Indiana, the Belvedere, lots of folks there. 2nd Street Bridge, a great location. And look at all those boats in the Ohio River. Absolutely incredible flotilla being held there at the 2nd Street Bridge. What a great vantage point that must be. Another good vantage point is right there on the 2nd Street Bridge where our Barry Bingham is. Barry, what's it like there with all the crowds and no traffic?
Well, it's a lot easier to get around, I will say that, than it is if you're out here in your car. This bridge has been completely closed to automotive traffic so that the city can put on what I'm calling Fountain Fest 88. We're about, I guess, a half a mile from the actual fountain. We're going to have a primo view when that thing goes off in about 40 minutes from right now. Maybe over here we can get a shot of some of the people who are jamming this bridge. This is now a pedestrian bridge, and here's some people who even went so far as to purchase commemorative T-shirts. What'd the shirt set you back here?
Just $7.
Not bad, huh? Where are you guys from?
Louisville. We live here in Louisville.
Now, what made you come here to this very spot to see the bridge, to see the fountain?
We thought we could see it better from the 2nd Street Bridge than the Belvedere. Get a better view.
Do you have any concern that this bridge isn't going to hold 18,000 people?
No, not right now. Maybe later.
How about you? You're looking forward to a good view, right?
I think it's going to be a great view up here.
Everybody was a little concerned about the weather. Right now, we are hoping against hope that it's going to stay clear. Just below us, as you saw in that shot from Sky 11, hundreds of boats. And we're going to be here to be able to show you Louisville's super squirt as the night goes on. Over on the Indiana shore, Doug Proffitt is standing by for a look from the Hoosier side of things. Doug, what's it look like from there?
Well, Barry, you interviewed some folks who are not bothered by being on the 2nd Street Bridge, but we've talked to a lot of folks here on the Clarksville, Indiana shoreline that are here because they're worried about the bridge wobbling up and down, and who knows, they're fooling around over here. Clarksville, now they were a little worried about the attendance here earlier tonight, but things are starting to pick up. A lot more folks are starting to pack in here. The riverfront, people holding umbrellas all over the place, and this should be the site that a lot of people hope to capture on film. The Louisville skyline, the lights on the buildings just now starting to go on, and of course when that falls fountain takes off, a lot of pictures will be taken off, and we'll capture it all for you right here. This is Doug Proffitt live, Clarksville, Indiana.
Barry Bingham calls it a super squirt, and super indeed it is. The central nozzle will send water 418 feet into the air. That's as high as the Humana Tower. Work to bring this fountain to Louisville began in the planning stages about a year ago. The Louisville fountain was designed in Cincinnati, built in Tennessee. It was towed up the Ohio and brought here home to our riverfront. Elaine Lipe has followed the fountain's progress from Chattanooga to Louisville and takes us on a guided tour.
It was a go. The test firing of the lower water jets was a success, and the tireless 6 months spent engineering and synchronizing the display were about to reach a crescendo of lights and water like the world has never seen.
Our first thought was, world's largest fountain, can we do it? And then our feeling then is we have pride in our men, and we know their talents, we know their capabilities, and I can sit in Chattanooga and say, yes, they can do it.
But success did not come easily. Just building the fountain required special training and equipment and a team of expert barge builders.
The pumps are in 3 separate systems. We have a center jet pump, that's the large pump on the end that pumps the water up to the 400-foot height. We have a floor-to-lee pump here. This is a 250 horsepower pump that pumps the 4 jets in the floor-to-lee pattern. The third pump is what we call a perimeter jet pump that provides the perimeter displays that you'll see today. And it's a 100 horsepower unit. The intakes are below water level, so the pumps are always underwater.
If a valve goes bad, another automatic valve will take over. The computer transfers electrical power from one to another. There's a cooling system. If one of the pumps in the cooling system goes off, another pump comes on.
The system operates through an intake at the end of the fountain that is screened by a traveling water screen that takes out any solids or fish or anything else that comes in the intake.
In order to put a fountain like this together, you have to look for the expertise, and it's not readily available. We really had to assemble a team here, a barge builder combined with people who understood hydraulics, understood the electronics.
The electronics were another first. Crews had to be lowered from the 2nd Street Bridge to wire the underwater cable that divers had connected to the base of the fountain. Special arrangements have been made so that the power drain from the fountain will not interrupt service or make any other lights flicker when it's turned on. And there's a special remote cutoff switch if a barge or any other river traffic accidentally gets too close or hits the fountain. It can be automatically turned off.
So they've run a separate circuit totally for the fountain. So when the power kicks on and there's a tremendous amount of horsepower in the pumps out there, that it won't interfere with any kind of flicker or anything else to any other businesses around Louisville.
With all the time and money invested, making sure the fountain stays in place is a top priority. 4 separate 5-ton weights are anchored to the huge concrete blocks buried 6 feet into the riverbed rock. But the fountain will not be on the river through the entire year. Like the Belle of Louisville, it will be put in dry dock during the winter, but will be back in action every spring, just in time for the Kentucky Derby. Elaine Lipe, Action 11 News.
And there you can see the river, the home of the Louisville Falls Fountain, prepped and ready for its dedication tonight. There are many of what I like to call fun facts about the fountain floating around. For instance, the electricity bill for this fountain will cost $62,000 a year. In fact, LG&E had to build a separate circuit for the fountain so that when it kicked on, the lights downtown didn't dim. Throughout our show tonight, I'll be talking to a man who really knows the facts about the fountain. This is Charlie Flatt. Charlie is the project manager for the Louisville Falls Fountain. A lot of people tonight, Charlie, are worried about the weather. How does the weather affect the fountain?
Well, I would think the rain would certainly affect the crowd. The wind would have the most effect on the fountain. The wind would, of course, distort the jets, and it wouldn't be nearly as effective. as it would be under wind-still conditions.
But would it shut it down altogether?
Right at the present time, conditions are not, evidently not too bad. We will, the fountain will be programmed down depending on wind velocity, and of course wind direction is a factor.
Everybody keeps talking about how unique this fountain is. Now, you've worked on several fountains of this kind. I think you said earlier 7 fountains in all you've worked on. Why is this one unique? Is it truly?
This is the world's largest floating programmable fountain. The center jet will go up approximately 400 feet. There aren't too many fountains that go up much higher, and the potential with this, the programming potential it's hard to comprehend. The lighting, the jets, there is so much that can be done with it.
So the people here gathered here, thousands of them I can see on the Belvedere, thousands more, up to 16,000 on the bridge. They're really going to see a spectacular sight, you think, then?
I think they will. I think they'll be very impressed.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Platt and I will be talking about the fountain throughout the show tonight, and a little bit later on, we'll be taking you to St. Louis and showing you the arch and telling you a little bit about what the arch, that tourist attraction, has done for that city. Gary Rodemeyer?
Used to grow here on the Clarksville, Indiana shoreline. You know, last week we traveled to St. Louis, Missouri, where the Gateway Arch there has been a proud symbol of that city for almost 25 years. Its 25th anniversary comes in a couple of years in 1990. That symbol is credited for drawing a lot of people down to the riverfront in St. Louis, for turning that city's direction around, refocusing its attention on the riverfront. Somewhat some of the feeling we're feeling now in this area, with the evident of the huge crowd along the riverfront here in Clarksville, Indiana, and of course lining the side of Kentuckiana. Well, the St. Louis city leaders are just about as excited of the Louisville fountain as they are about their arch. Here from Clarksville, Indiana, the Louisville Falls Fountain, and a flotilla of boats is now moving in place around the fountain. As we can tell from here, these boats got special permission from the Army Corps of Engineers and the Coast Guard to be out here, because that, of course, is a restricted area. In Clarksville, the crowd is starting to fill in. They were worried for a while that the rain would keep everybody away, but it looks like the last-minute folks are getting here for the 8:40 fountain takeoff. Let's go back across the river to the Belvedere and Melissa Swan.
Douglas, I don't think anything could have kept these folks away from the Belvedere. They all look like they're having a pretty good time. You're having a good time tonight, and they're waiting for the unveiling of the fountain, when it will go up into the air for the public for the very first time. And there's another party going on, a really big one, on the 2nd Street Bridge. Barry Bingham is there, and we'll talk with him in just a few moments.
Well, here on the plaza, it's a very polite crowd sitting here listening to a little water music from the Louisville Orchestra. You know, in merry old England, they would use bridges as places of commerce. They would build apartments on them and open businesses, and daily exercises would go on the bridges across the Thames River. And so it is tonight in Louisville on the 2nd Street Bridge, where we go to Barry Bingham. All business there, Barry.
Gary, as you can see, the boats are gathering just upriver from the 2nd Street Bridge. How they're going to see past the bridge to the fountain, I'm not quite sure, except I guess the fountain is going to be so humongously high that they'll be able to see it kind of over the top of the bridge. This bridge that we're standing on has been here since 1929, named, of course, for George Rogers Clark, the great explorer. You can see behind me that the city of Louisville is starting to light up a little bit, and people on the bridge are starting to light up, too. This has been turned into a pedestrian thing. We are festooned with balloons, and we also, you think you got water music down there on the Belvedere? We got water music. We got the Riverfront Ramblers, a bunch of guys from New Albany and Louisville, who've written a special fountain song called Roll On, Ohio, Roll On. Roll on, Ohio, roll on, Ohio, roll on.
Eternal flame would burn in his memory. It is a great gift to Louisville and our Commonwealth. And for me, it will always represent the many contributions that Barry Bingham has made to the people of Kentucky. Kentucky is a crossroads for travelers from all over America. It will serve also as a reminder to our friends in Indiana that the Ohio River is not a barrier between us. Truly an unique and spectacular new attraction, and our Commonwealth is grateful to you for that. Thank you very much.
With a world-class culture, world-class sports, and a world-class reputation in healthcare, and now a world-class symbol. We wouldn't be here without our river, and more specifically, the Falls of the Ohio. I am reminded of some advice Mr. Bingham gave to me. He said, "Give the river back to the people."
When you stop and think about the Falls Fountain, you have to stop and think about the symbolism. What does it symbolize? It symbolizes the vibrancy of this community and this region of this country. It symbolizes the vitality of what's happening in this community these days. It's another piece of that mosaic that fits into the puzzle, into the picture on the wall, to make this truly a world-class city. So to the Bingham family, we say thank you for the vision.
And here's the moment that Louisville has been waiting for about 20 years. Now, it may take a few moments for the pressure to build up in the fountain. Now that's what's happening. It's going to take just a few moments for the pressure to build up in the fountain. It may take a moment or two, but the button has been pressed now by Dan Ulmer and Barry Bingham Jr. And there the fountain. We can begin to see it from here now. We're behind the speakers platform. Louisville Orchestra begins to play. Theme for a Common Man, and the Falls Fountain is activated.
Belvedere, and possibly you can hear some of the people whistling and yaying at the fountain, a few oohs and ahs. People do indeed like what they're seeing, the red, the blue, the amber, the white lights of the fountain. It's great, it really is. Charlie Flatt is still here with me. He's the project manager of this fountain project. Charlie, did it go as planned? Did everything you had in mind take place out there?
So far, everything's working quite well.
You were saying when they were building up pressure. Now what were they doing to the crowd there?
Well, we're sort of teasing them with these first scenes until we get into the finale, the big scenes with the larger pumps. This is just primarily the 100 horsepower pump that's in operation now on these lower verticals and the horizontals, with the programming of the lights, of course.
That was more of what you had in mind right there, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, this is, we're starting to build up now. You can see the fleur-de-lis, the 4 jets coming up on the fleur-de-lis. And I was happy that I was asked to be a part of the team.
Charlie Flatt's grandkids are here tonight, and as the fountain goes up, you can see a mix of the blue and the red lights. And there's the white again, and that's what people here seem to be liking the most. They're really applauding the white lights, and a little surprising. Is that the case?
Well, of course, the There are other sequences that'll be quite effective as this goes on. But the white, of course, does have the big impact because of the brightness, of course.
This is a 20-minute cycle with the lights and the different levels of water spouting up, and of course the center plume. Now, is that as high as 400 feet? It's difficult to judge.
No, the center jet has not been really activated as yet. The motor is running, but we haven't loaded the center jet.
So is that coming soon, Charlie?
The center jet will probably go up on the finale.
A lot of other people have very good vantage points looking at this fountain on its debut evening. One of those people is on the Indiana side, where you can see a beautiful shot of the river, and there from our Sky 11 you can see the Falls Fountain, the Louisville Falls Fountain, with the light changing.
No, don't come to me, Gary. I'm having problems.
See, because of the demand, I don't know, maybe they got a waiver on the demand tonight. They're only supposed to.
There are really 15,000 people here because I haven't counted them personally, but they are all on my side of the bridge, I will tell you that. And that makes me just a little bit nervous. But we're having a good time. We got a great view, don't we, people? What do you think of this? You know, when Barry Bingham Jr. pushed the button for this, he said all the children are going to be telling their children about it. Are you one of those?
Yeah.
We had sort of a subdued brilliance over here, people staying very quiet. Our biggest impression of the Louisville Falls Fountain when it went off was all of the camera lights, thousands of them flashing on the Louisville skyline as it took off. Our vantage point is pretty spectacular over here, so our photographer is going to zoom in again on the fountain. I'm going to talk to some people as we continue to show you the fountain. Ma'am, how long could you stay out here tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I would like to be able to hear the water. That's what I'd like to be able to hear. Do you think that's possible anytime?
Who knows? Get a boat and go out there. What was your first impression when it went off?
Oh, it was beautiful. I liked it more when it was the fleur-de-lis, and I was waiting on that.
How about, it seemed that we got the strongest reaction when the white lights hit.
That's what everyone saw at first, was the white lights.
What is your favorite?
I like the pinks and the red.
How about you, ma'am? Do you think you'll be staking a lawn chair out here again soon?
Not very soon.
But do you like what you see?
Yes, it's very nice.
Your first impressions, were they good?
Well, it's not as spectacular from this side as I was expecting, really.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, definitely a realm of mixed opinion, and I tell you, one guy who's got a great vantage point is our John Shumway. He is live now in Sky 11, hovering all over the place. John?
Well, I tell you what, if you look down on it from here, what you are looking at are the folks who are probably trying to travel through Louisville tonight and wondering if there's some terrible accident ahead. You're looking at I-64 westbound, solid traffic in all lanes. Obviously, this is not one of the spots that folks were supposed to come to watch the fountain in, but it has become a vantage point for a lot of people, mainly because people are slowing down, looking at it as they go past the Belvedere, and it's just backing traffic up incredibly. Then as we turn to the left, you can see the Kennedy Bridge. Now, the Kennedy Bridge wasn't supposed to be a spot either, but the traffic's moving very, very slowly across there too. Let's swing the nose of the helicopter on around to the left a little bit, and we'll swing back here so you can see the fountain. The fountain out in the middle of the water there, and a boat now has a spotlight on it. It's been varying quite a bit. And to say the least, it's one heck of a view. Also, I-64 coming in from the other direction, it's the same situation as over here on the east side of downtown Louisville. It's backed up almost all the way over to New Albany as people slow down to take this first look at the Louisville Falls Fountain. Needless to say, folks, if you know somebody who's down here, when this is over, it's going to be a while before they get home because it is really tied up. A lot of folks just enjoying the view. Let's go back to the Belvedere. Gary?
Okay, John, here we are on the Belvedere, and the crowd is kind of craning one over the top of the other to get a better look at this fountain. I've had a bit of difficulty seeing it myself because the reviewing stand is between me and the fountain itself, and it certainly is a beautiful sight. One thing that has been holding off throughout the evening, and that is the rain, and we're beginning to get a few drops of rain out here now. So these festivities may be wrapping up quickly. As you can see, if you can see between me and the light, a few drops of rain are beginning to fall, and as Chuck Taylor told us on our 6 o'clock news tonight, there is a band of showers approaching from the north and the northwest, and it could be just a short time before those showers and thunder showers are moving into the area. So the orchestra is wrapping up its performance here. The fountain is still going. It will be going till 11:30. Let's go to Melissa Swan on the Belvedere. Melissa?
Here there are those white lights the crowd seems to love so much. The fountain is working its way through a 20-minute program, as we said a little bit earlier. Charlie Flatt is still here with me. And Charlie...
The center jet is now going up, and will go up, attain the 400-foot height. They're still doing some programming with the fleur-de-lis jets. They have dropped them down, and they have cut the third and fourth system off.
Charlie hates to take his eyes off of this tonight. You say your grandchildren are here to help you witness this. This is a very special moment for him. How many feet do you think we keep hearing? 418. What is that right now?
That's probably getting up pretty close to 400 there. I think tonight we're getting...
Seems to be saying, yes, I like that one, and I like this one, and everyone seems to have their favorite.
Now the fleur-de-lis jets are coming up.
So really, to appreciate the Louisville Falls Fountain, one must stand and watch it for a while, because it does change, it does do different things. Right now, as we watch the fountain under near full power, we're listening to music from the Louisville Orchestra. That is a fantastic shot from Sky 11 right there. That is the Louisville Falls Fountain, and I think it is so fitting as we say goodbye tonight. We're getting rained on for the first time. It did hold off, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, all. To you, Gary Rodemeyer.
Thank you, Melissa. Here indeed comes the rain, and here we go. Thanks for joining us for our coverage of the Falls Fountain Turn On. We'll be back again tonight on Action 11 News at 11 o'clock. The night team. Join us then. Thanks for watching.
Tonight's special coverage of the inauguration of the Louisville Falls Fountain has been sponsored by the Louisville Convention and Visitors Bureau, Louisville We're Rolling, and by Brooklawn, serving chemically dependent young people. Call 451-5177. Brooklawn is the road back to freedom.